Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special reading for this week of 1111 in the 11th year. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 is 11. So, this is a really important week. I don't know about you, but I would say, really over the past month, I've really been looking hard at a lot of foundational aspects of various parts of my life, mostly for me in this business of what has now become the Blue Sky Shop. Have been making some tough choices and walking away from things that I used to love, but I just don't anymore, and kind of shedding layers that just don't really need, they aren't serving me any longer. And I really do feel, as I'm tapping into the energy, as I was preparing this for you, that this is an important week. The numerological value for this week is 11, 11, 11. We really don't get that too often because we don't have 11 years and 11 year roll around very often. So what this says to me, the 11 energy is about being an inspirational leader. And every one of us can bring that. And this is the foundation of why I shifted into this shop, if you will, almost like a place where you can, bring your car in and get a little tune up. And I don't do this only, that I have all the answers and that I'm looking to give that to you. In fact, it's really very much the reverse. Is no matter whether it's these free readings that I'm doing, or if I see somebody out there and I just feel really magnetized to them for some reason, and I just want to reach out and I want to, offer if they want me to do a little card reading or a little look at their astrology. I feel really drawn to do that. Plus, of course, I have my astrology and card reading services, and that's going to shift and change as well. But even in these free readings every week, which now I realize, I've been doing these for years at this point, as I was getting into doing card readings. And I want you to know, if you're watching this, I get just as much out of these as you may or may not. It is a co-creative experience, and I feel that way that anytime I touch the energy of somebody's astrological chart, or if I'm doing cards for them, or just tuning into the energy, it is the mixing of our energies that you teach me things. And that's what I want this week to feel like to you. I want to offer this as a Firestarter week. It is the time to find that inner inspiration that can light up your wildfire within, to get you going on whatever that pathway may be. And I want to invite you to think about that perhaps it's not a pathway. Perhaps it's more like stepping into a field of wildflowers. Perhaps there is every option at every moment. And that if you're not feeling that the energy is working in a certain direction for you, know that you have every potential available. That is another reason I chose the Blue Sky Shop. There is more than enough room for all of us to have that inner inspiration, that inner drive, that inner uniqueness. We must bring this forward right now. It is what this world needs, and that's why I want to give these readings, is to help inspire you, because I learn from you. You are all masters in your own right. So these are, this doesn't have to be a deeply spiritual journey or anything like that, or that it's about ascending or it's about gaining enlightenment. Some people are drawn to that, but some of you you want to feel a little get up and go in your day. And I'm right there next to you. I want that too. And that's why I'm saying that blue sky concept there's just room for all of us to have these unique aspects of what gets us up and going every day. I just want to make it that simple, This doesn't have to be about being on a spiritual quest unless that really speaks to you. And it doesn't have to be about your astrology or cards or crystals or any of that. It can just be, geez, I really think that I'm kind of interested in exploring this or exploring that, or starting some like dance class, or starting to do some artwork, or even just I'm going to take some time every evening after my day and do a little adult coloring, in those coloring books, and then working into creating my own designs. And my goal is to give you a sort of a little fire starter. I want to give you a little bit of a spark as to whatever that unique aspect is for you. And I want to encourage you, yes, if you want to go take classes, or you want to study under somebody, or you want to be mentored, or you want to go learn a particular kind of dance or subject or something, go for it. However, please be aware that the real power comes in when you take whatever it is that you are naturally magnetized to, whatever you're drawn to put the time in to study it, so to speak. The real power is in making it your own, is in what can you bring to your expression of it that is uniquely you. And the more you go into any subject, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be spiritual in nature. Anything that you feel drawn to that gives you that little pickup, that little like, oh yes, this is exciting to me. Make it your own. Please make it your own. And I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader on that, because that is what we need here in the Aquarian age. It is not about being cookie cutter. It's not about, I'll give you an example, like for me, learning Reiki, I loved it. And I went bing, 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 up through all the levels. And I learned Karuna Reiki and went up through all those levels. And I learned another energy system that was about different multi-dimensional kind of energy. And I really respect and honor those modalities and those systems. But the real power came, and my belief in myself came, enough to leave my corporate job and all my security to launch Call of the Wild energy therapy, working with horses. And I don't own a horse. I haven't ridden since 1982. But that's the level of courage and leaning into the vulnerability, because you have so much passion that you can't turn away from it. And what happened is I took Reiki and brought it to the horses. And then I trusted what I was hearing and sensing from them. And they just said, I want your pure divine light. I want the pure energy that you bring as a channel. And I want to use it as a channel. And I know how to heal myself. Thank you very much. Please don't lay your symbols on me. That feels like a wet, dirty blanket to me. Don't do it. They respond. They like that energy. But it's not in honoring themselves as healers. They know what to do to heal themselves. So I trusted that vision that they gave me. Again, this is just like in working with you through any services that I do. I learn and I become a channel to gain my own wisdom, which then helps you, hopefully, and then you reflect that back to other people in your life that you can then help. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And this is so sparked up for this week. That's the reason I'm spending a lot of time describing this. The other thing I want to say is I want to give a big shout out to who I call my colleague in love. my dear friend Andrea Barden, she introduced me to something called the I want to get the name right, Mentor Masterclass Holiday Challenge, which is put on by a life coach named Jeannine Yoder. And I don't have any vested interest, like this isn't about money or anything like that. It's a free 24-day series. And we're just like, today was day number 5. And every day you get this video, and it's just, I'm learning so much and being exposed to other women who are doing some really inspirational things. And I think the big takeaway that I have thus far is that just it's about the uniqueness. You have something to bring this world, and you are meant as a being to inspire yourself and to inspire other people towards their greatness, towards their blue sky self, that place where there's room enough for all of us. There's more than enough space, and we need you. I just treasure my sessions with my clients because I learn so much, and it digs down deep and pulls up this knowledge that I don't know that I have. This isn't work that my brain does. It's down there, and you have it as well. We all do. I'm not special. We all have it. So I just want to start the fire. And so the big thing I want to bring up, and the reason I'm mentioning this holiday challenge, which Andrea introduced me to, and thank you, Andrea, and she gave me these fabulous earrings. They awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What I want to bring up is today on day 5 of this challenge, this woman named Nisha Moodley is her name. She's another type of life coach, I guess. She talked about your North Star, and I've brought this up in readings in the past, and really proclaiming what your North Star. This is a great time as we head into the holiday season, prior to the launch of the new year. The new energy for 2019 actually started in October. So really setting an intention for your North Star. And this is based on that inner inspiration, that get up and go, that fire within. And I love calling it wildfire, just like the license plate on my car. This is just meant to like, boom. It's like a rocket booster. Okay? In the North Star, by making this proclamation, you're really setting your sights very cleanly and clearly on what that aspect is for you. So I'm crediting this fully to Nisha Moodley. I loved a phrase she said is, leadership isn't something that we earn on the other side as much as a quality of willingness that we bring. And our Sabian symbol for this week that I did a custom dowsing for us, as I always do. Cancer 9 came up. Okay, this is deep feeling energy when we're talking about Cancer. And it reads, a small naked girl bends over a pond trying to catch a fish. There is a young spirit and one that is vulnerable. She is naked. This is living full out and looking into that pond of possibilities to catch what it is that is going to be this North Star energy for you. That's what I feel. And you are so supported, 150% with the 11-11-11 that we launch this week with. These weeks do not come along all the time, so I'm encouraging you to take advantage of it. So here's what Nisha was saying when she talked about the North Star. This is kind of your commitment. It brings our confidence. It's what ignites the confidence and gives you vision for not only your own personal life, but the world. And again, I credit this to her, but I have used, those who have been listening for a while, I know I've worked in the North Star concept in the past. And so here it is coming up again. And so the two things that she says is, and then I encourage you to journal on this. as we launch into tomorrow, Sunday, the 11th, is on one side of a sheet, write my why. What is that North Star for me? And then on the other side, what is my why for the world? And I'm going to proclaim right here with you, because you're my co-creators in my vision, my North Star. My why for me, as I'm moving into this, this will be, a start of a new cycle as we go into 2019. My why is I want to be inspired to dig deeper into my unique qualities and to shine them out in the world. Unapologetically, by the way. I want to be that small naked girl who is willing to keep looking in that pond and seeing very unique aspects of who I am, because those are my gifts to bring to the world. And therefore, my why for the world is I want to inspire you to dig into your unique qualities, and most of all, to have fun in shining those qualities in you out into the world. That's my proclamation. So that you could potentially use just as an example. But the point is this unique inner inspiration, and using that as this bigger vision, your North Star. So with all that said, and knowing we're kind of putting that very vulnerable part of us, but think about yourself when you were, I often say this, when you were 3, 4, 5 years old, that part of you is embedded in this Sabian symbol for this week too. That little, not afraid to be out there, run down naked on a summer day and like, oh, I wonder if I could see the fish because the sun is out and it's shining into the water. That's part of the Firestarter energy. It's finding this inspiration. It's knowing that Scorpio season has served us and will continue to serve us through about the 20th, 21st of this month. It serves us so well in sort of stirring up the muck on the bottom of that pond so that we can have a clearer bottom in order to reflect more clearly what it is we're ready to see, what it is we're ready to be, to live. And that is your North Star energy that wants to come up, okay? So what I put forward is 3 images. This was based on a little cartoon I found called Take What You Need. And I just feel like, and there might be more than one of those images, by the way, that speaks to you. So definitely, if all 3 of them do, then you're going to want to listen to the whole message. So the first one was this number. I'm doing a little signal for myself in the video editing. The first one is about, was this little girl, redheaded, just like, yeah, doing that up to the sky. Okay, and that energy is joy. This is the deeper inspiration that really wants to get your attention this week and gets that fire. Get that sucker rolling. There's a joy vibe that wants to play with you here. This is the small naked girl bending over a pond, trying to catch a fish. It's like, what am I gonna see down there? And there's a basis in joy. So your card is from the Magdalene Oracle. Okay, I haven't looked at any of the cards, so this always is like that lower chakra system for me, this deck. It's very much about the root and sacral and solar plexus. There's a rich energy to it. I swear I did not look at these cards. Little children. And that little girl, she caught my attention when I brought up the word joy in Google. I was like, yep, she's the one. Here you go. This is about reaching deeply into that inner child area. And when I said with my own North Star vision, my why for the world, having fun. This is about digging deep and finding a way to be inspired towards fun. And this, I would encourage you to really think about, what was it that you had fun with when you were a child? Did you have fun with make-believe? Was it a certain kind of make-believe? Did you like going to certain areas, like on your property? Were you spending all your time, if you had a little brook by your home? Or did you go to a neighboring area somewhere and you wanted to be among the trees? Or was it a particular kind of tree? I'm really feeling like you got to dig down into those deeper details. Or, for instance, did you keep a special locked kind of a diary, and that you would spend time, you'd like pull the covers over your head and have a flashlight, and you'd write down all these big dreams that you had, and things you were feeling, and things you wanted to do. And I'm talking about this part of you before you sort of became ingrained in a lot of beliefs and thoughts and ideals that perhaps others in your life had set up for you. Like, this is the way we behave, and this is what you need to look to as a measure of success. I'm looking at the time before that occurred. So, but definitely it feels more like a time of more maybe 7, 8, 9. It's before you get to puberty that I'm seeing. And what were you delving into? I think about my friend Carrie here. And we were best friends, and we would play Nancy Drew all the time. And we actually went into somebody's garage once, this older woman who lived on her road, and I can't believe we didn't really break in, but I mean, it was trespassing. She didn't know we were there. And we discovered all these layers of her garage. She had all these classic cars, and we were like, oh, and we created this whole mystery around it. And that we were solving, we were delving in. And this is all coming up for you as a message. Not that, it's about Nancy Drew. It's the fun of the mystery, the fun of not knowing all the time of how it's going to turn out. And remember, I don't know if it was true for you as a kid, but there's something beautiful about that, where you let it just shape itself out based on what you see, what comes into your field of vision. And to not have to nail it all down from the start, but to allow things to become, to allow it to move itself into your awareness, and then so it shall be. It simply comes forward. That creates its own magic, where you allow the universe to sort of shape it up. But again, it's the importance of you setting in motion and declaring, just like I did, what is the North Star for you? I would love it if people put up little notes on the Facebook post, or make comments on the YouTube channel video, or if you want to do a little video and put it up under my Facebook. I would love to hear your proclamation. What is your why? And what is your why for the world? What is that North Star vision? And it's got to be personal. And then how does that take shape out in the broader world? I really would love to hear from you, because I would love to support you in that vision. Okay? And for you who picked that little girl, and that feeling of yes, there is this sense of, and she was a trailblazer. When I looked at that photo, I was like, because this is the energy I feel from people who have red hair, is you just have this level of passion and a unique vision that you just have to drive it out into the world. You have to just go there. And of course, there's lots of people too who don't have red hair who also have that energy. But there's something very unique about, those born with that red hair, and it's like this flaming passion. And sometimes an outspokenness that needs to be out there. And your crystal is from my air team, and this is my piece of lapis lazuli, and this is known to me as the magic carpet. And this piece has these little bits of gold in it, which lapis is well known for. And this is about really rising above and taking flight into a dream. And I really want you to access that energy of that younger portion of you, which she or he is always within you. And for you, I do feel it's a little bit older than I normally skew towards. It's more that 7, 8, 9 version of you, because there's a little bit of intellectual version where you knew how to write, you knew how to articulate, and to bring some things into being, but you probably still believed in dreaming. You still believed in like that make-believe, and maybe some of us still believed in Santa Claus and all of that sort of mysticism. And that is important with this energy of the magic carpet. It's being able to dream your world into being, and that you can rise. There's a feeling of rising to above what has transpired, which has all been on purpose, but it's gained you've gained more clarity in the process, so that you can be that small, naked little one looking down into the pond and expecting to see what you see there. You could look at this image and imagine those are little fish that you're seeing, lit up amongst all of this passion, this red energy, orange, lots of passion, lots of desire. And that it's okay to have a dream, and there's nothing silly. There's nothing, the more we embrace that dream energy, then the more that comes into our life. And that's what the magic carpet is also saying. It's really a state of mind. Okay, then the second image was the focus. Focus is your word. It was I think it's a camera lens, and it was looking out. I believe there was a mountain in the distance, and I was really drawn to that image. And for you, you have one of the animal medicine energies. So I often like to reference the guidebook for this, because I don't have these all memorized. We'll see what you have. You have the hummingbird. Okay, so this is, I told you, 11, 11, 11 this week, and here we go with the 44. This is angelic energy when we talk about the 4, and 4 is solid foundations in our life, which we can look to as sort of that angelic part of who we are as well, which always exists. So let's dig up here, the 44 of the hummingbird. And these are magical little creatures, and their energy is that of joy. So it's interesting that those who picked the first image of the little girl, their word was joy. And your word is focus, but it's a focus on joy. Alrighty, so you may want to go and listen to that first message if you picked this card, because that other card has something to say to you too. But this joy image, I'm going to read. This feels, if hummingbird is your personal medicine, you love life and its joys. Your presence brings joy to others. You join people together in relationships which bring out the best in them. You know instinctively where beauty abides, and near or far, you journey to your ideal. You move comfortably within a beautiful environment and help others taste the succulent nectar of life. Oh my God, that last phrase just like really caught me. As my eyes were gazing over it, I thought, oh, the succulent nectar of life. And these truly are magical little birds. If you've ever seen them up close, their feathers are absolutely beautiful because they just have this iridescent quality to them, and there sort of is a very bright green, sort of vibrant color to them. And they're very tiny, and there's so much energy there that they exude in order to come up to the feeder, and they have this long beak. And that feels tied into me to focus. That's your word. That is the fire starter within that wants to it wants to dance with you. It's like the word focus is the, flint, or yeah, is that the right way to say it? It's the solid surface against which you are striking your unique match against for this inspirational week. And it's because you have this angelic vibe. That is you. And your crystal is my piece of obsidian, which is known to me as Raven. This is from my fire team, so that's got that fire energy. And this is about no secrets. This is about full-on love and joy. And if you're holding yourself back from that, you've got to look deeper. You've got to see that whatever has transpired, particularly in this last month or so, when we've been in the sign of Scorpio, this is very scorpionic energy, when it's probably the one that is, it's what I feel is most closely connected to Scorpio in the zodiac. And it's the cleansing of being full out. It's this cleansing feeling of just, there's no more secrets. This is just me. And it reminds me of our symbol for this reading. A small naked girl bends over a pond trying to catch a fish. You have to be able to see into the pond to see where those opportunities are. And the opportunity that's inviting you is this very angelic level of joy. Okay? And that the more that you look at weaving this into whatever your North Star, which I mentioned in the intro, as you make that proclamation, how is it that you can bring more of this forward? Your why for yourself and for the world has to do with this, has to do with the hummingbird, and has to do with, we don't have to hold all these secrets in. We don't have to have all this kind of sludge sitting down there and feeling negatively about how we handled something. Or this hummingbird is just comes out and says, you know what, I really handled that badly, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry that I said it in that way, because the truth is that I actually really love you and I want you in my life. Or that the truth is I love you, but I feel like we have grown apart. It's just this brutal kind of honesty. And I feel funny using the word brutal with this beautiful energy that you have of the hummingbird. But it's in order to bring forward, you move comfortably within a beautiful environment and help others taste the succulent nectar of life. Not everybody can do that, but you sure can. You have this long beak. This is that element of your word focus. You are here to bring forward that succulent nectar of life. So you have to get real about stuff and really say it as it is. If you're feeling out of harmony with somebody, that's getting your attention for a reason. And if it's no matter what you do or how you try to focus on something, this energy is coming up very strongly in order to just say, maybe it's that they've either grown out of your life, or you need to focus into a different element of who they are in order to feel that level of joy again. Because there's power when we come out of Scorpio season, and then it's bam, we're into Sagittarius, off and away, taking flight. So think about your why, and I'm going to give you another particular question that is coming up. It was as I was reading that passage about the hummingbird. And I credit this again to, as I mentioned in the intro, this woman named Nisha Moodley, who gave this overview about the North Star in this course or this holiday challenge I'm part of. And one of her questions was, what is your ideal? Because as I was reading this, you know instinctively where beauty abides, and near or far, you journey to your ideal. The point is focus on the ideal, because that is it's gonna take you to that place of experiencing this nectar, the succulence of the nectar of life. Ooh, it feels very Taurian. It's like, oh, you're just like, and you have that angelic vibe with the 44 of this card. But I do get a sense of like sort of this pull down to like, ooh, but I've got all this over here, or, you know, I don't feel angelic. This is telling me, oh yeah, baby, you got that. You've got that. But you got to focus on what is your ideal, and think about this as you're proclaiming your North Star. This is the time to proclaim it, and then we're going to go for it next year, or starting now, rather. I mean, Sagittarius will be our time to really take flight into this area of new vision. It is the time. All right, so what is your ideal? Focus on what is my ideal, and am I instead down in this sort of deep, dark, kind of mucky place here? I'm not focused on my ideal, and that is hardwired in you, and it's ready to come up. It's ready for you to focus on it. Okay. All right. We're on to, this is the third photo. The third photo, which was a woman looking out at water and there were birds flying in the sky. Your word is calm. Calm. And immediately when I had tuned into that, I felt confidence at the same time, because of the birds that I was drawn to in that particular image that I chose. So your card is from the Shaman Oracle, the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And I haven't used this deck much. I absolutely love it. And there is a real feeling of being, of like healer energy in this deck. And it's very rich. It does have this peacock energy to it too. So calm. Calm while being. Wild woman. You are literally like stretching the two ends. And this is how I always know it's like a profound spiritual truth. When you're bridging this divide that seems to be there when we think about the word calm, but it's about the wild within, okay? And that's why that image, there were lots of images for calm, but that one drew me, and it's because the woman in that photo is so focused and looking out at this beautiful vision. And meanwhile, these birds are flying overhead. There's a real sense of freedom here. So this deck also has a wonderful guidebook with it, and I want to tune into this for you and read what is here, because they're beautiful messages. I do highly recommend this deck if you're looking to get one. So I'm just going to read the essence of this, okay? I think that's all we need. When the wild woman dances into your reading, she reminds you of the essence of authenticity and freedom. Divested of all social constraints and cultural conformity, the wild woman holds up a mirror to your essential self, the true essence of who you are and who you're meant to become. She is a reminder of the bright light within each of us that gets dimmed by the restrictions imposed upon us by the expectations of society. She reminds us that in order to be fully present to life, we must uncover that light and let it shine brightly, regardless of the perceived consequences. And really, the word wild, I've been exploring this a lot lately because, well, for years at this point, because Call of the Wild was my original business name, and I loved it, and I still love it. I love that orange, vibrant intensity energy, and thus why I included that in my logo. And, my license plate now is Wildfire. And there just is this baggage that I think exists. There's kind of a fear that exists around the term wild, because implicit within that is that it cannot be controlled. And that is what I feel this small child, our Sabian symbol this week, bending over a pond, looking to catch a fish, small naked girl bending over. Like, this is about being full out, just very innocently, and really making yourself a little vulnerable in being able to look into these aspects of yourself that are the wild within. Okay, and trusting what you see there. And maybe it's not a fish that you want to grab at this time. Maybe it's not ready to be caught. But the beauty is in the searching for it. And even to be open to seeing it. To be open to the fact that it is even there. And your crystal is my little piece of moonstone. This is from my water team, so it speaks to that inner feminine energy, which this is wild woman. And our symbol is a small girl. So it really is like kind of triple feminine energy coming up here. And this is kind of it's a funny at odds feeling. Again, as I was saying, with these deeper spiritual truths that I feel like, they feel like truth to me. I sense them as truth, is when you put these two together, we have grown up thinking that the feminine, so to speak, is this just deeply nurturing and let me just take care of you. And it kind of goes against the energy that we feel with wild, because that is the unknown. That is just like, we might just lash out, look at the energy in this card. She's just like, rah! And it's like the rebel yell. And that's what I love. I know this reading is not about astrology, but it is the power that I feel with this card is that Jupiter in Sagittarius that just happened this week. It'll be there till early December of 2019. It's that rebel. It's just like it's full out. This is who I am, and I'm not going to apologize for it, and I'm not going to be your mother's mother. I'm not going to be a woman from the 1950s. There's nothing wrong with a woman from the 1950s. Remember, blue sky has enough room for everybody. But this energy that you're tapping into here as an inspiration source for your North Star that you are proclaiming has to do with this really deep new part of the feminine, new/old/ always been there, part of the feminine that is unapologetically bringing new parts of yourself forward that are very much renegade, that are very much based in freedom. And that what I feel here is what I mentioned in the intro. It's about being able to take a concept that you have learned about, let's say, if it's Reiki or if it's some other subject, or astrology, that's a great example for me. You can learn some concepts, but then go wild with it. This is like me giving you the note saying, hey, go wild with it. Maybe that needs to be my new tagline. It is, I want you to. What else do you get? What do you feel called to add to something? It's bringing your own unique fingerprint to it. So this energy of the moonstone, this is known to me as lucidia. And I haven't had this crystal all that long. And so I wanted to look at, I have just a few notes about this. When I first got it, I sat with this piece. It's really small. But what I got from this was with Lucidia and looking at these meanings, it's about flexibility and lucidness. And we feel that with the Sabian symbol of the little girl looking down into the pond. What can you see there? What is that wild within? And what is that deeper layer of what you are ready to bring forward? It's not even about discovering the wild, it's about going wild with it. It's about going to that wild level, which is incredibly unique. It is your own version. So as much as it's about this flexibility and lucidness, what I was really getting is it interrupts fear energy, this piece. This is why I felt with this deck, as I was pulling your card, I thought, yeah, this is about calm, because that's your word, but it's calm confidence. It's a sense of just really stepping into a sense of being sure that it's okay to bring your wild self to a concept, a topic, a feeling, a relationship, a job, a business, whatever that may be. And that I'm going back to my notes here from Nisha Moodley from this challenge thing that I'm doing. And she said that it's more about the commitment is what brings our confidence. It's that we have to be vulnerable enough to allow our wild version of something to come forward. And we have to dispel the fear energy, this wave of fear that comes over that says, oh, but people don't do it like that. Like me with the Reiki, I had to spend a lot of time with that, but the horses, that was my gift. The horses were very strong with me that they did not like it. They literally would kick out. They would kick the wall. When I would try to do that symbology, they were like, no, no, no. No, we want your pure divine energy. We want to just use you as a channel because we know what to do. You don't have to put anything on us. Don't think that you know what to do. We just want you as a channel. And then everything went swimmingly. My sessions went great. Good results for clients. Off we go. But you have to trust and be vulnerable enough to bring your wild to it, your wild viewpoint. Okay, and just this piece is just helping you to really lift, or I like this, how this came through originally, interrupts fear energy. It's just like putting it's like a little dash of energy in there that just says, nope, I'm not going to let that overcome me. I'm not going to let that wave crash over me. I want more than that. I'm more confident than that. And if I remain diligent, if I remain committed to my North Star vision for myself and for the world, I've got a wild stamp to put on that. Awesome. I loved this reading. I love this reading for all of us because this is all about what Blue Sky Shop is. I just want to give this to the world. I want to see what you got. I want to light you up. I want to send you like off on your, just unique pathway. And it really truly is like a big blue sky or a huge field of wildflowers. There is so much room. So we need more options, not less. Okay? Use this week. What is your North Star vision for you and for the world? And I really do want to know. And I want to support you. Awesome. Have a magical, magnificent week. Bye-bye for now.